Tonight, the Premier does the rounds in Port Pirie for the first time since the state election. And a Port Augusta eyesore to be demolished after years of safety concerns.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Madeline Kerr begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. After 6 months as Premier, Peter Malinauskas has finally made his way to the Spencer Golf. He was joined by fellow members of the South Australian Government in Port Pirie today, in town to connect with the community and to discuss the challenges and opportunities unique to the regions.
Members of Parliament took over the small city of Port Pirie today. First up was a visit to John Pirie Secondary School, where the Minister for Education, Blair Boyer, was joined by Jeff Brock to officially open the school's $10 million redevelopment. The members for Wright and Stewart enjoying a tour of the new facilities. Growing up in the country himself, Minister Boyer says he's passionate about access to facilities like the Powerhouse Theatre here in Port Pirie.
I love that I get the chance now as the South Australian Minister for Education to come to places like John Pirie and actually open amazing facilities like the one that we've seen this morning.
Next, Premier Peter Malinauskas visited Port Pirie's most iconic site, Near Star. The smelter announcing it will be the first company to recycle alkaline batteries. Near Star says its Port Pirie site has received accreditation from the Battery Stewardship Council in order to do so.
This facility is now capable of recycling every single one of those batteries. So the plan, of course, is for Near Star to start recycling somewhere in the order of 2,000 tonnes of batteries.
The recycling process will take place here in Port Pirie, with the remaining products being utilised back into our economy, with majority being used in cement products.
So this is South Australia not just being part of the circular economy, but leading it.
It's the first time the Premier has been back in Port Pirie since being elected back in March. Mr Malinauskas will meet with his constituents here tonight at the Port Club Room, before doing a tour again tomorrow in Port Augusta. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A Port Augusta landmark is set to be demolished following a damning report. The old Great Western Bridge has been described as too dangerous to be repaired and needs to go.
The 95-year-old Great Western Bridge isn't so great anymore. The bridge has been used by pedestrians since 1972, following the completion of the original Joy Belush Bridge. But the crossing was closed in 2017 amid safety concerns. Now Port Augusta City Council says the bridge has to go.
We also have to take on the safety aspect of the community and the people that may visit our golf. And at the moment it's an eyesore. It cannot be used, it cannot be passed, so it's restricting the opportunity to use the top of the golf, and that top of the golf is pristine for a tourism perspective with our great red banks and so forth.
The member for Stewart says a report into the bridge's condition was damning.
The damage, it's just over nearly 100 years old and it just can't be repaired. And if you're going to do that, but end of the day is that the other Great Western Bridge on the other side will be demolished as part of the Port Augusta to Port Wakefield to Port Augusta Alliance, as with the also an opportunity to establish a swimming pontoon near the Augusta Hotel.
There is a proposal to turn at least part of the bridge into an artificial reef, and Mayor Benbow says that parts of the bridge could be placed on the Joy Belush Bridge as historic artefacts. Demolition is flagged for next year. Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Golf News.
It was a busy weekend for local police catching up with 3 motorists for alleged drunk driving in Coffin Bay. On Sunday, September 11, between 5 and 8:30, police conducted a breath testing station in Coffin Bay, where 3 people allegedly blew over the limit. Amongst them, a 59-year-old local man recorded a reading of 0.054 and was issued an expiation notice. Similarly, a 44-year-old local woman allegedly blew a reading of 0.09, followed by a 40-year-old Eyre Peninsula man who blew 0.1. The latter 2 were both reported for drunk driving and lost their licences for 6 months. They'll appear in court at a later date. Minister for Local Government and member for Stewart Jeff Brock has denied any plans for council amalgamations in the Spencer Golf, saying there's no truth to the speculation. Rumours smaller councils could be merged have been swirling for over a week due to a merger plebiscite for Mount Gambier.
Jeff Brock is keen to stamp out any speculation on council mergers in the Spencer Gulf. Following the announcement, Mount Gambier and Grant councils will vote on a merger during the upcoming local government elections.
And I am very disappointed that the rumours are getting around. That doesn't help anyone at all. But as the local member here and also as the Minister for Local Government, I can make quite clear there is no intention of any forced amalgamations in the Upper Spencer Gulf in particular or anywhere else in regional South Australia or South Australia, full stop.
CEO of the District Council of Mount Remarkable, Sam Johnson, raised the concerns about potential amalgamations in the region, especially targeting smaller councils.
I'd be really, really disappointed, particularly given the Minister is also a regional member himself, if this was purely targeted at regional councils, because I think regional communities will be the ones that will lose out longer term.
His claims are complete rubbish. It's even down in the southeast, the only place that's been looked at, Mount Gambier and Grant, there's a particular set of circumstances. But there's absolutely no idea of forced amalgamations on the table or even pushing councils in that direction.
Port Augusta City Council also dismissed the speculation.
But completely dismiss them. I mean, why would you split a town during a state election and then amalgamate a council? How ridiculous.
Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
For years now, those driving through Port Pirie have enjoyed the road safety messages with local flair. And ironically, someone's bad driving has brought that to an end. Early yesterday morning, a vehicle collided with the digital sign, didn't stop to assess and help, but rather just drove off instead.
If you have got any information or you did see something happen at about 4 o'clock this morning, I encourage you to ring Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
Residents say the $20,000 sign and its quirky messages will be missed. Still to come tonight, would-be dog nappers stopped in their tracks in Port Augusta. And the Broken Hill bookstore looking for inspired individuals to put their hands up and volunteer. Welcome back. Port Augusta police are investigating the attempted theft of a dog. Just after 4 p.m. on Monday, police were called to a house in Stirling North after the victim disturbed 2 men carrying his 3-year-old German Shepherd over a nearby embankment. The pair then dropped the dog and ran off. They're described as being Caucasian, with one having a solid build and wearing a black jumper, while the other man had a slim build and was wearing a grey jumper. Thankfully, the dog was not injured, but anyone with information is urged to call Crime Stoppers. Member for Stewart, Jeff Brock, is reminding Port Augusta residents where his electorate office is. At the moment, his office can be found on Young Street, but as of next month, that won't be the case after a bungle by the state government.
Unfortunately, the department that's responsible for electorate offices didn't renew the lease on this particular building quick enough, so therefore I'm here to the end of October. But what I want to do is tell the community of Port Augusta and the regions here, the community here, that I'm going to, in the interim period, be going down to the old railway station where the RDO, the Business Support Centre, is down there for a couple of months.
Mr Brock is eyeing off a potential new office space near Commercial Road and aims to move in next year. If you're a bookworm, then this might be for you. A cooperative bookshop is looking for volunteers. The not-for-profit store is serious about all things literacy in Far West, New South Wales.
It was about 7 years ago when Browsers, the last bookshop in Broken Hill, closed down. But a group of locals stepped up to make sure the city didn't go without.
A few of us decided that the town really needed a bookshop, and we're looking at different ways of doing it, and we sort of settled upon, a cooperative model.
Under the Silver Tree was born, giving the community a place to go to read their favourite authors such as Lee Child or Jodi Picoult. And it's more than just a bookshop.
I think it's really important as well, not just having a bookshop, but also everything it relates to.
Locals can become members of the store by paying an annual fee. At the moment, there are 30 up-to-date members of the co-op shop. And through that generosity, it has become quite successful.
We asked for donations of books from the community and furniture and everything. So the only money that we had was from the memberships.
A recent community event helped drum up some interest in the store.
It was really good. We've been around for a while, not that I think everyone's aware that there is a bookshop in Sulphide Street.
Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. It's official. Port Pirie is home to the best police officer in the entire state. And don't forget the glitter. Netballers in the Far West take part in a Broken Hill themed round. Welcome back. Superintendent Mark Cyrus has been named as South Australian Police Officer of the Year. The Port Pirie local was presented with the prestigious accolade by the Rotary Club of Unley.
After 42 years of service, Superintendent Cyrus says there's no better recognition for your efforts than being nominated by the community for this award.
It was really nice to have my family and friends and other work colleagues and the members from the Unley Rotary Club who made this award possible.
Superintendent Cyrus has spent a majority of his working life in regional and remote areas and says he wouldn't have it any other way.
That connection with the community. When you're living at the smaller the place, they all know that you're a police officer, so it's never a 9 to 5 job.
Having volunteered with Operation Flinders since 1995, helping young people is something he is passionate about.
Volunteering is supposed to be fun, and I've been very fortunate to find a way to contribute to community by working with young people.
Despite working on a number of high-profile cases, this is not what was mentioned when asked about his career highlights.
The officers that I've worked with over those years have been amazing, and it just made that 42 years just fly by.
SAPOL is currently recruiting, and those interested are encouraged to call up or visit the station.
The job is very well paid, it is very varied, and no day is the same.
Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The Broken Hill Festival might be over, but that didn't stop netballers from getting frocked up for the last round of the spring competition. It's the first time it's been held, and it's looking like it might become a permanent fixture on the calendar.
Getting glammed up and hitting the court. Round 6 in Broken Hill netball saw some players, coaches and officials looking absolutely fabulous.
We're hoping to maybe next year or the year after when the redevelopment has finished, that we can make this round into a fundraising round for something.
Officials happy to see everyone dressed up and having some fun on the court.
It's good to have the wigs. We've got some girls that have got blue wigs and lots of glitter. It's great to see.
The players also enjoying themselves, but all that glitter wasn't gold.
It was pretty annoying because we have gel in our hair and it just kept getting stuck on our face.
For some, it was also a good opportunity to sharpen their skills as they get ready to head to Mildura for representative duties. One as an umpire, the other two as players.
Here in Broken Hill, they've been helping me with getting ready to be a lot more confident with it, and I don't feel as stressed anymore.
The players are really excited and hope all their hard work pays off at the carnival.
Very exciting. We've had a lot of trainings coming up to it. We've put a lot of hard work in. So we're very excited and keen to win our games.
Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. Who's paying the most for petrol in our region? And we'll have the weather details with Alex Sykes after the Bureau confirms La Nina's back. Welcome back. Fuel prices are remaining pretty consistent across the region, but overall it's been a better week for commuters, with the price of fuel dropping ever so slightly. Prices are appearing to plateau at the pumps, with Bowsers holding their value across the region. Starting with a look at the price of unleaded, and as you can see, it's looking a bit better this week, with more green arrows on the board. However, prices have only dropped by a few cents. Once again, Kadina is offering up the cheapest fuel, Residents there paying $1.66 per litre. Port Lincoln, Whyalla and Port Pirie pumps also dropping in price, sitting in that low $1.70 range. Commuters in Broken Hill continuing to fork out the most for unleaded, paying $1.91 a litre. Adelaide pumps have also seen a spike, jumping up by almost 40 cents per litre. Over to diesel prices now, and unlike last week, the pumps aren't quite as pricey. Not much has changed in Port Lincoln this week. However, Whyalla and Port Augusta prices have dropped, now charging $2.04 a litre. Port Pirie and Broken Hill prices went up by a cent or two, sitting around the $2.12 mark. Adelaide diesel prices are holding steady, with the average price across the city charging $1.99 per litre. On to auto gas prices now. Prices remain consistent across the board, with Port Pirie offering up the cheapest prices in the region at around $1.09, 2 cents drop from last week. Adelaide had a big decline, sitting at just 89.9 cents. Port Lincoln still charging the most for auto gas at $1.27. But it's time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with Alex Sykes. Alex, the Bureau has declared La Nina for the third year in a row.
That's right, Maddie. And what this particular weather event will bring is above average rainfall this spring and summer, particularly in northern and eastern parts of the country. Time will tell what another La Nina means for the crops here in the Spencer Gulf. Taking a look at some of today's temperatures now, 25 degrees in Port Pirie. Stormy conditions as wind gusts were above 60 kilometres an hour. Cooperative reached 30 degrees this afternoon, the warmest day since April. Coffin Bay reached a top of 19. Looking more broadly at today's weather map now, and most areas on our map saw some rain today and overnight as well. A storm passed through Port Lincoln this morning, causing a blackout in some areas. Temperature-wise, the city recorded a top of 21.5 degrees at 1:15 this afternoon. Whyalla reached 27 and saw around half a millimetre of rain. Port Augusta recorded a top of 28 degrees mid-afternoon. Taking a look at the satellite image now, a front over the east of South Australia will continue eastwards tonight. Another front will move into the west of the state tomorrow morning, reaching central and eastern districts in the afternoon or evening. A deep low pressure system well south of the Bight will move slowly eastwards to be south of Tasmania later Saturday. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Northwesterly winds 15 to 30 knots, seas between 1 and 2.5 metres, and south to southwesterly swell around a metre. Showers and 17 in Port Lincoln tomorrow, rain increasing around Cleve. A top temperature will be around 18 degrees. Woodness showers and 19 degrees there. Partly cloudy and 22 in Whyalla, between 7 and 23 in Port Augusta. Partly cloudy conditions there as well for the Premier's visit. Showers increasing around Kadina on Thursday, 18 degrees. Same goes for Port Pirie, showers increasing and set to reach a high of 21 degrees there as well. More rain in Clare as well, 16, and Broken Hill will be sunny and 22 degrees tomorrow, going down to around 11 degrees tonight. Taking a look further through the week now, 23 degrees in Cooperative on Friday, partly cloudy, top of 20 in Broken Hill. Possible showers in Port Augusta down to Port Lincoln. Temperatures varying by 4 degrees between 15 and 19. Taking a look at Saturday's outlook now, windy in Broken Hill, gusts up to 45 kilometres an hour, heading for a top of 18. 18 in Port Pirie as well, possible showers. Port Augusta, possible showers, 20 degrees, partly cloudy in Whyalla, 19. And finally, taking our first look at Sunday's outlook, a sunny top of 20 in Broken Hill, 22 in Port Augusta, 21 in Woodner and Whyalla, Port Pirie 19, and Port Lincoln has a medium chance of showers, 17 degrees. And that's all the weather from me for tonight, Maddie. I'll see you soon with an update. It's back to you.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Wednesday. I'm Madeline Kerr. From all of us here, thanks so much for joining us. I'll have updates a little later, but until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.